All right, take two, looking at the Rock Island Armory AL-9.0. This is a Czech-made revolver in 9mm. Takes moon clips, like you see here. So I did a thorough review of this gun about, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago, something like that. And I've been itching to get it back out. So to answer the first question, when I did that review, I told you that this was a loaner. This gun was sent to me as a test gun so that I could test it and share my outcome with you. Well, I liked it so much, you see that I still have it. So I sent them a check rather than return the gun, because I did think, as I was saying in that review, that the gun is an extremely good value. It's very well made, and I thought I probably needed to have it in the collection. Well, it's been a while, and I need to get it back out and do a take two, so I'm going to do that. Now, one advantage over the first time I had only the 2 moon clips that were supplied with the gun. I have since bought 10 more from Speed Bees. So I did share with you guys the Speed Bees moon clips, and I think I put a link on the other review in probably in the comments section or somewhere, and I'll do the same here. They seem to work just fine. They're not that expensive as I recall, and hopefully they're something that's in stock normally. So I probably will buy more of them. They seem to work good, and they actually include a very neat little tool for unloading the moon clip. All right, take twos are all about having fun at the range, and that's what I'm here to do today with this AL 9.0. I haven't shot it since I did my original review, so I'm really looking forward to it. My excuse for the day is sweaty hands. Okay, let me slow down and aim properly. Man, I do have some sweaty hands. That's the thing about a revolver. When I'm shooting thumb over thumbnail. Where am I going here? There we go. I don't remember, and pardon me, I didn't sit and watch my original review again to remind myself, but I don't remember if the sights were right on or not. So let me try a couple head shots here. Yeah, it looks like it's a little to the right. Let's see if it's consistent. All right. I think maybe the sights could be adjusted just a wee tad. So a lot of people have asked a lot of questions and made a lot of comments on my initial review. So I'm going to try and answer a few of those as I can think of them. One is, can you shoot 380 in a 9mm revolver? And I'm not going to demonstrate an answer to that question, so I guess I'm not going to answer that question for you today, although it has been answered by other folks. I know Firearms Guy took a look at that question and demonstrated that, and you could look at his results. I'm not going to try it because, number one, I saw him do it, and I think it would be redundant. I don't think that it's reliably capable of shooting 380. I think you can get some to shoot, and some won't, and so for that reason, I'm just not going to bother. But one question that I think is a good question to answer is, can you shoot the 9mm round without the moon clips in this gun? And typically, in a revolver that takes automatic cartridges, you can. The problem is you're not going to be able to extract or eject them, and you're going to have to do that by hand. So I've got 6 rounds I'm going to drop into the cylinder here. So to answer the first question is, they will stop. They won't just fall through. They do stop. You can see right there. They don't fall through. because each chamber in the cylinder is tapered. The other thing is it's designed to headspace on the case mouth. So that means it's going to always stop in the same place, or it should, right? If your cases are within spec. So that's going to put the head of the cartridge where it needs to be. It's going to put the primer where it needs to be. So there's no technical reason why it shouldn't work. Like I said, what I expect is they'll all shoot when they fire, but of course when you fire a round, the case expands. It's brass. Brass is a pretty soft metal. It's going to expand with that heat and pressure, and it's going to be tighter in each of those cylinders than it was when we dropped it in. So for that reason, I don't expect them to come out very easily. You might get lucky and might be able to pluck them out with a fingernail, but I might have to poke them out with a screwdriver or something. But let's find out. 6 rounds, no moon clip. All right. So it certainly will shoot them just fine. Everything looks good, but as you'll see, nothing happens when you try to use the extractor because there's nothing there for it to grab. So they're not so tight that I can't get them with my fingernail. And luckily I don't chew my fingernails. So the answer is yes, you can shoot 9mm without a moon clip. But you better not be in a hurry to reload because you're going to be picking these out with your fingernails. So that's the story on that. Hey, this is your lucky day. This is like a review inside a review. Actually, it's more like a review inside of a take two, but it still rhymes, and that's the important thing. So after I did my initial review of the AL-9.0, I did it with just 2 speed clips. And I went out and found these speed clips on Speed Bees. I think the folks at RIA actually helped me to find these. And so I bought a pack of 10. So you can see the 10 speed clips here, and these are just the way I brought them home from the range, all nice and used. But just a quick review. Number one, I think I loaded each one of these speed clips twice, so that would be 120 rounds worth. And I didn't have any problem at all. They worked great. So functionally, at least so far, no problem at all. The 10 come in this little plastic case inside of this much larger case, so I presume there are other quantities that you could buy if you wanted to. But I also wanted to show you this little tool that is included, which is pretty cool. And you can see that it has a smaller circle and a larger circle, so this would be like 9mm, maybe 38 Special, 357 Magnum, 380, right? And then this one would be 45 ACP and maybe 10mm or whatever else would work a little bit, but kind of a very nice, handy, and small little tool. And I thought, well, usually the little free tool that they're going to give you probably isn't going to be worth much, but I was wrong. So the handy little tool that's included with the moon clips doesn't look like much, and it is a very inexpensive little thing, like, you know, a toy you would get in a box of cereal, but very effective. So you can see the ring has a space below it and above it, so there is no upside down no matter which way you put it on. And we have the 2 different sizes. Again, very convenient. You just slip the ring of the plastic tool down over and give it a simple turn, and it just so simple. There's no resistance. Pops off, falls right out. Very nice. Okay, so I bought these. They weren't provided to the channel or anything. Nobody's paying me to say I like them, but I like them. And Speed Bees is going to be the place I check first whenever I need moon clips. Good job, guys. All right, I tweaked the sight a little bit. Let me try that. See if that puts me a little more where I think I should be. I'm going to go single action. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, it might need dialed in a little bit more with paper, but that's better. Probably the most frequent comment that I've got on my initial review of the RIA AL-9.0 was people commenting about a 9mm revolver, and a lot of people either questioning why would you bother, why would you want a revolver that shoots an automatic pistol cartridge, or why would you want a 9mm revolver versus some other caliber of revolver. So I'm going to address that a little bit. So the first thing I want to say is I have no investment in the answer to that question or what people think about the answer to that question. But I do want to try to answer it a little bit if I can with some meaningful information. So I'm going to start with the ballistics. So this, to me, this gun is comparable to a 38 Special or maybe a 357 Magnum. Now, if you want to compare it to a 357 Magnum, there's almost no comparison. The 357 Magnum cartridge is a far superior ballistics round than 9mm or 38 Special or anything in that range. So if you want a 357, you get a 357, and that's what you would use. But there are a number of people who don't particularly care for a 357. They don't like that sharp recoil, and so they want something that is a little easier to handle, a little more pleasant to shoot, but they may still want some ballistics that are a bit respectable. So you're talking about 17 to maybe 20,000 psi of pressure for a 38 Special. A modern 9mm is anywhere from 35,000 psi up to 38 or more for a plus P, and if you get into the plus P pluses, you know, it can get silly. So the pressures are significant, almost twice as much pressure for a 9mm round as there is in a 38 Special round, even though the 38 Special looks like it's a bigger round, holds more powder and all that. That doesn't really mean anything. But we don't really think about pressures as much when we think about ballistics. We usually talk about muzzle energy and velocity and things like that. So with a similarly weighted bullet, 124, 125 grain, because you can get 125 grain 38 Special, and you can get 124 grain 9mm pretty commonly, so those make a good comparison. The muzzle energy of the 9mm is about half again as much. So it's about a 50% increase in muzzle velocity and energy, and it's about a 30 to 40% increase in velocity. So these numbers are not linear, so one doesn't go up at the same rate that the other goes up. But across the board, the 9mm is a ballistically superior round to the 38 Special. I don't think anybody could question that with any kind of data. So hopefully that helps answer one of the aspects of the why would you shoot 9mm out of a revolver. So if you want to shoot a revolver in home defense, personal carry, or whatever other purpose, and you don't want a 357 Magnum, the 9mm is a beautiful midway point between the 38 Special and the 357. And another reason is because it does take the moon clips, and I know a lot of people turn their nose up at moon clips, but someone who is proficient with moon clips versus someone who's proficient with a speed loader, the person with the moon clips is going to almost always be way faster on reloads, because you can almost just throw that moon clip at the gun and it'll go in. It doesn't take near as much motor skill as it does to work a speed loader. So moon clips have an advantage for faster reloads You can also carry more of them in a smaller space. They don't have the bulk of the piece of equipment that is the speed loader. A moon clip takes up no additional space whatsoever. So you can carry more ammo and you can reload the ammo a lot faster with moon clips than you can with a speed loader. Other advantage, when you're unloading, if you have to reload in a hurry, you have to do an emergency reload. With a moon clip, all 6 of your empties come out together. Pretty much guaranteed. You can't say the same for normal revolver rounds. How many people have had 1 or 2 cases that were being stubborn, wanting to come out of the cylinder? With moon clips, all 6 of them drop out, and even if there is one being a little stubborn, the weight of the rest help to pull it free. So it's more reliable to reload both from unloading the spent cases and reloading the new ones. So those are a couple of reasons why, in answer to your why would you shoot a 9mm revolver. I don't care either way. You make your own choice. I'm just trying to help with some good info. Okay, I promised it was going to be quick, and it has been. Take 2 with the Rock Island Armory AL-9.0. A very nice 9mm revolver made in the Czech Republic. Thanks for watching. If you've hung in here this long, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you don't already. I would appreciate having you on board. Thanks as always to the folks that support the channel, especially my Patreon patrons.